So our state suing Google, accusing the company of lying to the public and invading our privacy by making it nearly impossible to stop them from tracking our location.
So joining us now with more on the allegations and also what happens next, Washington Post technology policy reporter Kat Zakrzewski. Kat, good morning. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So it sounds like, I know we've just started kind of talking about this story, but we are one of 3 states and D.C. suing Google for deceiving people. Can you talk about what we mean by deceiving people?
So basically, the state attorneys general in these suits are alleging that the company made misleading design choices to make it really difficult for people to opt out of sharing their location data. We know that location data is used in many Google services, from Maps to Gmail, and it's really an important business tool for the company because using location data, they're able to have more targeted advertising. And so what the state attorneys general are saying in this suit is that the company basically used conflicting settings and design tricks to keep people locked into sharing their location data with the company.
And you also, in the piece, you talk about a phrase that I haven't heard before, dark patterns. You write that the suit accuses Google of using these dark patterns, design tricks that really influence our decisions in ways that are advantageous for the business. How are they doing that? I mean, this sounds like a Jedi mind trick.
So dark patterns have become a really big issue for regulators, both in Washington and throughout the country, who are increasingly interested in reining in the tech companies' power. In this instance, the state attorneys general laid out many examples of how Google tried to nudge people to keep sharing their location data with them. So maybe you've had this experience when you're using the Google app. If you turn your location collection off, you keep getting notifications saying, hey, these apps and services aren't going to work properly if you don't turn it back on. And meanwhile, there are never similar reminders about opting out of location sharing from Google. And so really, it's a shift in terms of how we're seeing these state attorneys general try to get smarter about how tech products are designed and think about how you can apply existing law aimed to protect consumers to address some of those practices.
All right, so Kat, now that we know about these lawsuits, I mean, what happens next here?
So these lawsuits were each filed in their individual state courts. Google has denied many of the allegations. They say that they've taken a lot of steps, particularly in the past couple of years, to make their privacy settings clearer for users. So these have now been filed in individual state courts. We'll see if Google responds. There's also a separate lawsuit in Arizona that dates a couple years back. It doesn't get into the dark patterns issue as much, but does get into some of the issues around Google's collection of location history. And a judge recently ruled that that case will go to trial. So really what we're going to be seeing is Google fighting a multi-state battle over location history, as they already have all of these other legal challenges, including a federal antitrust lawsuit at the moment.
So, Kat, from what you've learned in your process of reporting here, what can we do in the meantime if we're using Google?
So I think it's really important to very carefully check your location settings in the apps and just ensure that you're looking at it in each app and in multiple spots. So what the state attorneys general found was that maybe you turned off your location history, but you didn't turn off some of the location collections under other settings like web app and activity. The Washington Post actually has some really helpful privacy guides. So if you search Washington Post Google privacy tips, there's a comprehensive guide of what settings you should turn off in order to protect your data.
Yeah, helpful and empowering, hopefully, as well. Kat Zakrzewski, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.